I don't believe a legalised drug regime can work. I'm opposed to that. But I think at the edges, we've got to be taking police resources away from chasing people into nightclubs in the hope of finding ecstasy in their pockets, and having police and sniffer dogs at railway stations trying to catch people with small individual quantities of marijuana. It's not an appropriate use of police time, and police time is very, very expensive.
Would you support the decriminalisation of some drugs, and including illicit drugs?
Yeah, I support a police regime that represents a de facto decriminalisation of lesser drugs at the margin. In other words, we wouldn't have armies of police patrolling outside nightclubs and pubs, hoping to snatch someone who's got an ecstasy tablet in his or her pocket or purse, and we wouldn't be having police chasing individual users of marijuana. I just don't see how wholesale legalisation can work. I don't see how you can legalise heroin. I think you've got to maintain those legal prohibitions. But when it comes to practical use of police time, yes, stop worrying about those things and use the police resources where everyone wants them used. I think it is dumb to put those things in your body. I think puffing on marijuana, that's something of the past. You get a bigger hit from a healthy lifestyle. Go on a bushwalk, go on a jog, swim a marathon. They're the things I'd advocate instead of sitting around making your brain dopey.
Is this a debate that Australia is ready to have?
I think absolutely. I think mothers and fathers want to know that their youngsters are protected from policies that are going to see them more likely to use drugs than not. But if their kids are going through a foolish phase where they're smoking marijuana, the mothers and fathers don't want them to be treated as criminals. And if there's a serious position where a son or daughter is using heroin, which is terribly disturbing to a mother or father, and rightly so, I don't think the family would want the child treated as a criminal, and they would want to know that the needles are clean, not infected with AIDS or with hepatitis, and they would want to know that they're not shooting up in a back alley or in a park, but in a medically supervised injecting room where there are medical professionals, paramedicals on hand, and where there will be an effort made to bring those youngsters into treatment. That's the sort of carefully calibrated approach I'm taking, and I don't stand with people who think that a free-for-all legalisation is viable, but I don't stand with people who think that it's got to be a battle to the last police officer and the last sniffer dog. I don't think the government is that far from my position. The government position is to hit hard the Mr. Bigs, the major smugglers, the people who are bringing prohibited substances into Australia or manufacturing it in their backyard laboratories. And I agree with that approach completely. What I'm saying is really more relevant to state governments and the appropriate use of police resources.